screen sharing and sounds and everything?
All good.
All right, great. So, welcome, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are joining to this session. So, next 45 to 50 minutes, we are going to talk about Teams templates. I will show some demos, have some ideas, have some custom options, and also small, kind of a short look to the roadmap as well. Okay, pen stopped working, but no worries. First of all, let's thank our sponsors to make this event happen, and we can actually share and learn and discuss together. So visit the sponsor channels on the community team. Also, there will be some nice giveaways for active tweeters and who are been joining the channels and who are joining to the partner raffle. So great giveaways, gift cards, and Xbox One, of course, is the great kind of a prize there. So you can submit your entries in from this link. And of course, it's very nice that we are doing also some charity here. So we are donating to the Chicago Public Schools, to the Children First Fund. So, and you can make your own donation from the community to the very important topic. Good. Okay, just short intro. So my name is Matti Paukkonen. I'm coming from Finland. We have a lot of snow. It's actually not so cold anymore here. It was quite cold a couple of weeks ago, but still we have snow and it's dark and everything in Finland during winter season. I'm also Microsoft MVP. I work as a cloud advisor in a small Finnish consulting company focusing on mostly SMB sector and kind of a public sector customers. And there you can see my social media channels, so you can follow me. Also, I'm very into networking, so please you can connect me on LinkedIn as well. And I have a technical blog also, which you can check out if there is something interesting. What I'm going to cover today is first take an overview how team templates work in Microsoft Teams, what is available there, what is possible from the admin center, how you can manage those, what are template policies, what are the recent capabilities, what have been added there. Then some template management with Teams PowerShell, because everything is not available on Teams admin center. So you need PowerShell if you want to do some little tricks or just like to manage manage templates via scripting. Then I'm giving some options for custom templating, like going from the kind of a citizen developer side to the Graph API and more customized templating mechanisms as part of your provisioning solution, for example. And lastly, just some ideas to that same topic, how you can actually use team templates from Teams Admin Center, manage them there, and then take them part of your own solution and extend them with Graph API. So this will be also some kind of a demo heavy session as well. To the why side, why you should use those team templates. Of course, the familiar structure for your users. For example, if you have a project teams, a lot of projects, people are jumping around between those teams. They know where to find information. For example, where are the documents, where you can find meetings, memos. Is there some kind of a virtual coffee or fun channel, and those kind of things. Also, you can bring in those needed tabs automatically, for example, for your tasks or OneNotes, even bring some power apps there if needed, websites, SharePoint pages, whatever you need to get kind of a teams which are looking kind of alike for a user. Of course, it also creates some improvement to the information architecture, so people can find documents more easily. If they are synchronizing those, there is a certain folder structure already available for documents. Then having those channels, bringing context to conversations, documents, meetings, whatever is needed, apps, or having that fun thing there. And lastly, I would say that encouraging the usage of organizations apps, so bringing automatic, for example, your company bot or some power apps or those kind of things automatically to the team, so they will be available for users to use. Great. Okay, first demo. Let's jump into the Teams admin, to Teams, and then to Teams Admin Center. I will just a little bit. Okay, so basically on the Teams side, Teams template is kind of this simple thing that you just create a new team, and you have, of course, options starting from scratch, having just a general channel, basic settings from the group, and then there is these templates available. Some of them are from the Microsoft side. I have already created one template because there was some issues with the Admin Center. So we have at least one custom template which we can take a look in more deeply. So I will just create a new Adobe Office 365 template, which is now Microsoft generated template. And when you are starting to create a team from a template, you can see there is 5 channels and 4 apps. So it will create automatically these channels for you when team is created, and it will add also automatically these apps to the team. I will click next and just, well, doesn't matter, public. Let's do, I will just give it, this is an Adopt and M365 Chicago. And in this phase, you can also do a little bit of customization. So you can open this menu here and customize the channels, and let's rename the calendar for events, just to make a change there. And then click create. And it's starting to create the team, and it's already available here, as you can see in the background. So there is the Adopt M365 Chicago team already available. And now it mentions that you can just close this window. It is a long-running operation. It will take several minutes to actually complete when all the channels are created, all the tabs are created, all the apps are added. So basically, this is just a blank team at first, and it will start adding things later on. And you will get a small kind of a toast notification from Teams if you have notifications enabled on the bottom right corner when it's finalized. But let's not wait for that. I will just open this team, which I have pre-created already. So there will be these channels. And as you can see, for example, if we take events channel, there is a shared calendar already there. And also now you can add those Microsoft template power apps there, like milestones. But let's not wait for this team to complete. I will jump back and forth from the slides between demos, and I will try to explain also that we are returning to the first demo afterwards, where we have been checking some things out from the Teams Admin Center, so we can just see that it's complete and that actual template worked. But let's next jump to the Teams Admin Center. I think that's better. And if you want to manage the team templates, you just open this Teams section here, and there is team templates. And you open that, and you can see now all the templates which are available in the environment, which have been added here. And as you can see, there's a project template. This is a custom one, as you can see, published by Tahto Demo, which is Tahto is a company who I'm working for, and we have a demo environment, of course. And rest of the templates are actually from Microsoft pre-provisioned templates. Let's just take a quick look on the Microsoft templates. We can click edit. And as you can see, there is settings for channels, what kind of apps are added. For example, there is a Power App tab added to general channel, bulletins added to the announcement channel, and so on. But as you can see, these are grayed out. I cannot edit the actual Microsoft provided templates. So these are out of the box. There is no modification for this one. Of course, that means that I cannot also delete the Microsoft provided templates. They will be always there. But there is a way, of course, you can use policies to hide them. Let's look at a little bit later. Let's go back, and I will just start creating a new template. So you can just create a template from the start from blank. So just having the general channel, nothing more. Using existing team as a template. So if you have for example, you have created a good team, for example, managing projects, you can actually take the team and create a template based on that team. And when the new team is created based on that template, it will look the same. Of course, not everything will be there, so we will be missing the folder structures and documents and stuff like that. But basic channels, apps, and those kind of things are coming there. And of course, you can start from the existing template. So take one template as a bottom line and start expanding or changing that and create a new template based on that template. So, but I will start from scratch. Let's create a community template this time. Just adding those. There is also localization in place, so you can actually have different language versions, but I suggest probably with templates, it's not so heavily in use. So I will just create them in English now. Okay, here we are. We are starting to define a new template. So let's add a channel. Community. Let's add an events channel. Add it to that it's shown by default. Actually, there have been some problems sometimes that this is not always working. So it's not 100% sure that it will actually appear automatically to user's channel list without any action from the user. I want to add let's add a channel calendar there. Just adding a one app. And when I'm adding apps there, I can just modify the name. So there is no configuration yet. So basically, it just adds an empty channel calendar, and you need to actually activate it before it's used. So let's add a calendar there. I will also add a website like this. And now you can see that this is the new thing, that website tab is actually customizable. So you can customize the URL to the website tab. So I will just add the link to the M365 Chicago schedule and save it. And that's about for the events channel. Let's add a apps channel. And just to show you that, for example, adding tasks by planner and to do, let's just shorten this a little bit. And let's add, for example, the milestones app. So these Microsoft template Power Apps are actually also now possible to be added as a tab to the team. So let's add that one and click apply. And as you can see, in the same time, the apps list is actually those apps are added to the apps list. So they will be added to the team as well. But I can also do and add an app to the specific team without adding a tab. So let's add Poly here. I think we are good to go. Click submit. And let's hope that it will be visible during these demos. Let's see what will happen, because it may take just 2 minutes or 5 hours. It's a long running operation. So sometimes it have been taken some hours even to get new templates or even update the template list to the team's client side. In the meantime, let's look at the template policies, what these mean. So this is the way how you can hide those, for example, Microsoft templates if you don't want to show them to the users. So for example, let's take open the global policy, which is by default the default policy for everyone if there isn't any custom policies assigned. As you can see, new templates are already introduced to the viewable side. I have everything there, and I can just go and click. For example, I don't want to see these onboard employees or organize help desk, and just add them to the hidden template side. So those should be hidden from the team templates list after the change is actually provisioned to the Teams client. And you can, of course, mix and match. For example, global is this, for example, project workers, you can just introduce that, okay, there is only the project template available or so on. And you can have multiple template policies if needed. Depending how many templates you have, how do you want to divide those? Okay, that's about template policies. Let's jump back to Teams. And as you can see, now the Adobe Microsoft M365 Chicago is provisioned. And for example, you can see that the events channel is there. It was renamed during creation. There's a shared calendar. And now you can see that there's a shared calendar. This is a channel calendar tab. You need to set it up first before it's actually used. So those apps are not automatically activated or introduced or provisioned. So for example, you need to just make it like this. And it actually renamed the tab, which is kind of a one bug there. And for the milestones, kind of the same thing, that you need to introduce it, use it first. Just click save. Let's see that it just appears there, and we are good to go to the next section. Okay, it will be provisioning the Power Apps, so let's not focus on that. Let's see, just quickly, join or create team, create a new team, and yeah, it's not yet there, so we cannot see the actual community template yet available. So probably when I'm showing the final demo, we can see that it's actually there. Let's hope that it won't take any more than just some minutes. Okay. So what is supported? So as you saw, channels, tabs, and apps are supported. Also apps to the specific team. You can configure the website tab, so have a website there, or point it out to the, for example, a SharePoint page or SharePoint site. Provision the Microsoft template, Power Apps, milestones, bulletins. Was there something like 10 of those? Also, sensitivity labels are now supported. When you are creating a team from a template, you can also apply sensitivity label during creation of the team based on the template. So just one step more that you don't need to take care of that side, for example, after the team is created. Some limits, 15 channels, 20 tabs per channel, 50 apps, nothing more there. And for template policies side, template policy can actually hide up to 100 templates. So if you have loads of templates, there might be a problems how you can actually hide those from the specific users, because one template policy, that global policy, for example, can hide up to 100 templates. If you have 200, there will be just 100 visible after you have been hiding the 100 one. Good. And next demo, template management with Teams PowerShell. So let's open my Visual Studio Code and just clearing the list. First of all, I have been already connected this environment with Connect Microsoft Teams, because there might be some issues always with the authentication or signing in, and you don't want to see me copy pasting a password, for example. So first of all, let's see what we have here. So get CS team template. Come on. Okay, great. Now, well, anyway, you needed to see this. Sorry about that. Something happened to the session. So get CS team template list. And this will list all the templates which are available on the tenant. So as you can see from the, for example, the ID is actually quite long, OData ID, and you need this whole ID if you want to work with specific templates. So this full string is actually required when you are, for example, getting the template to an object and modifying the template. And as you can see from the Microsoft side, these are renamed a bit differently. So there is some kind of a name spacing, and also Microsoft template scope is public. So there will be, this is the unique ID for the template, which is available on the admin center. And when the scope, which is the next section there, is tenant, it means it's a custom template. And of course, there is the language version as well. But let's take the first community template and use that one. So I will copy paste this and just take it to a variable, get CS team template. And as you can see, there is a OData ID parameter, and I will paste this. And now I have the whole Teams template as an object here. So if I print it out, so this is actually how the template is formatted. So it's a JSON. There is an ID, naming, visibility, some channels. For example, you can see general channels there, events. Also there is the tab which I mentioned, and the calendar, and then there is some settings. And for example, these member settings, guest settings, messaging settings, fun settings, these are not, you cannot change these in the Teams admin center. So if you want to change these settings to a Teams template, you can actually just change these on PowerShell side. So I will just, because this is an object, you can just go, for example, fun settings. And of course, I would love to have Giphies, and just click it true to true. And if we print it out again, of course, it's changed there. Maybe, well, let's just allow Giphies this time, of course. So now I have this template object there, but it's not actually yet available on the Teams admin center. So I can just use update CS team template. Again, OData ID, I had it there. And then I just go with the body and add template as a parameter there. Right, so now we have the community template updated with the setting that I will allow Giphies. So let's get the template all over again and just print it out that we can see it's there. And as you can see, allow Giphies is now added there. So if I create a team with the community template, now Giphies are actually automatically allowed. So you need PowerShell to modify these. How about creating a new template? So I have this custom template file already here. We can just check it out. It's the same structure than in the template object. So IDs, now it's M365 Chicago template. Just adding a couple of channels, a couple of apps, some settings, nothing fancy there. And then I'm just adding a published by parameter that I'm actually the publisher. So if you are publishing from the admin center, it's always the tenant name, but you can actually, with the template, you can just publish it with any name then. So new CS team template. You need to manage this local here first, and then just adding a body. And this was, I need to get content from the file I just had, code M365 Chicago custom template, and out it as a string. Let's see, hope this works. Okay, it worked. So I just added this template, and as you can see, oh, it's actually, the result disappeared, but no worries. Let's take a team template list. And now we can see that there is a M365 Chicago template. So jumping back to Teams Admin Center just to see that it's there also. So going to Team Templates, hopefully it actually provisions this quickly, like so. Okay, no, now there is some M365 Chicago template. And as you can see, it's published by me. Let's just jump over here and see, is the provisioning actually reached this one? No, that is not good, but maybe I can manage the rest of the demos without actual team templates. So let's see, trying to create team. Okay, it's there. So let's create a first Chicago template. As you can see, general speakers, these are the channels, these are the apps. Let's create it as private and just first demo, and just let's leave it there to provisioning, so we don't need to wait when it's done. So template management with PowerShell, as I already demonstrated. So if you need to modify the team settings for that specific template, you need to use PowerShell currently. So those settings are not available on Teams Admin Center. What you can also use the PowerShell side, for example, if you need to do some mass updating for the templates, you have a lot of templates, you need to, for example, change the channel name, you can actually do that with PowerShell. Of course, it requires some scripting to going through all the templates and updating one specific thing there, but it's possible, not clicking those through all, or changing, for example, those member settings to some other values. So really good for that one. And I would say that if you need to provision some predefined templates to tenant, for example, you have some kind of a Teams provisioning solution and you need to use want to use the templates as part of that solution, you can just use the PowerShell to provision your templates to that specific tenant. And if you have add yourself as a publisher, you can actually use that info to actually fetch your own templates there. Good. Then some custom templating options, just to give you an overview, just a couple of ideas what is possible. So first thing, of course, Power Automate. Starting from the top to the bottom, the top one is for the citizen developers. So just using those Microsoft Teams actions, creating a team, creating a channel, adding members, adding owners. Of course, you can extend it with Power Automate quite far if you need to, but kind of doing the simple things, for example, having a button on Power Apps and just provisioning Teams simply from that with Power Automate. Then it's more advanced side, send an HTTP request. That is on preview, so you can actually call Graph API with that new action in a user context. So you need to, there is no option, for example, to use application permissions for that one. But I don't know, it's now, there is no kind of a premium requirement. So let's see what is in the future. Is there a premium licensing requirement or not? But that is one way also to provision kind of a more thorough Teams templates, kind of creating your own template and using the action to create the team based on that template. And of course, going forward, using app permissions and using HTTP actions, you can get a kind of a more advanced solution, not requiring a user to actually create a team. Because problem is that if you are using the middle one, you're creating a team and that specific account which is added is actually, or which runs the flow, it's actually added as a team owner. So you need to take care of the removing part of that. Of course, when you are using the HTTP action, the bottom one, you need to have premium license for that. What you can use for this, easy integration from Power Apps, SharePoint list flows, emails. So basically, if you need just a lightweight solution, you want to have a couple of channels. Maybe Power Automate is the provisioning and templating mechanism for you. So you don't need to even take care about Teams template management on Teams Admin Center. You just create a specific team based on these actions. PnP provisioning templates. If you have a custom solution and custom provisioning cases, maybe having a complex provisioning on the SharePoint side of things, you want to, for example, create lists, create folder structures, add metadata, things like that, and add Teams as well. So you can definitely use PnP provisioning, and both are supported. So using PnP XML provisioning schema to define your team, or using the Graph API JSON schema. So both are supported. This is, of course, for the complex, very complex solutions. Another way, if you need to reproduce, for example, demo environments, this is a good solution for that, because you can actually provision the whole environment, Azure AD settings, SharePoint, Teams, a lot of things. I don't even know what are all the capabilities, because there is a lot of those in PnP provisioning. Of course, it's always a custom solution, so you need to run it somewhere. And then, of course, the Microsoft Graph API and team templates. So basically, you define your team on a Graph API call. I will just show how it works in the next demos, but basically just creating a team on a one single API call. So as you can see, for example, there is a training announcements, training channel, planning channel, some settings in the JSON. And it supports, of course, those channels, tabs, apps owners, settings, privacy setting, kind of a full-blown Teams provisioning. And this is, of course, part of your custom provisioning solution when you are doing the whole provisioning, templating everything from scratch. So this is kind of then usable for those cases. Okay, so but how about if you have a templating which you are managing in Teams Admin Center, but you want to maybe a little bit extend it or use those templates as part of your solution. This is not yet complete, but there is something on the roadmap on this side as well. Let's jump back to the demo section. So first demo, how about just creating a team from those managed templates. So this is the basic Graph API call body which you need for creating a team without anything. And as you can see, there is a team templates and there is a placeholder standard, which means that it creates team which is named M365 Chicago adoption with Graph Demo 1 with this description and just general channel. How about if I want to create, for example, an adoption team? Let's jump to Teams Admin Center. Take the Adopt Office 365. I want to create this team with my Graph API code. There is a template ID, which is now in this kind of a namespace format, because this is actually a Microsoft provided template. So I will just take this one. And for the clearance sake, just copy this to this Graph API call and take this whole body. And use same time, you can see that how you can use Graph Explorer to investigate cool stuff. So now I'm actually signed in on a Graph Explorer in this tenant. I have been giving a consent that I can actually create teams here. So basically modifying permissions and adding needed permissions to this side. So, and I'm calling posting my call to Teams endpoint and adding my body here and just running the query and then hoping everything works. Okay, it just took a couple of seconds. And now it's in the provisioning queue. I will go to Teams. And as you can see, the adoption with Graph Demo 1 is actually now in provisioning. There is only a general channel, but magic will happen a little bit later. And when we are coming back to my first demo where I created the channel from my template, as you can see, there is a planning, slides, and speakers available here. Okay. How about creating the custom template then, which I've been customizing? This is actually now a good demo because I don't actually know the real result, what will happen if I go back to theme templates, take my M365 Chicago template, just taking this ID, and again, replacing this ID with my custom template ID, which I just copied from the admin center. And the same procedure all over again. Going to the Graph Explorer, hitting it here. So this will be, display name will be Microsoft 365 Chicago Demo 2. And I run it. Like so, couple of seconds, it's in the provisioning queue. And as you can see, that theme which I just created should have speaker, slides, planning channel there as well. How about if I want to extend this? So adding a little bit more, I have this template here, but I want to add, for example, a virtual coffee channel to this template from my custom apps. That is also possible. So in my third demo, here I have my third demo, like so, and I have a little bit more in my the provisioning template body. I will paste the same. Oh, okay. Let's not do that. It will mess everything up. Let's just take this ID. I will use the same Microsoft 365 Chicago template there. And now this theme is created with some coffee, and I'm also introducing virtual coffee channel there. So it wasn't part of the original template. I'm adding it via Graph API call using this specific template. Also changing some settings. So I can define what do I want to add more to the template. And going back to Graph Explorer, and let's hit it third time again. Let's hope there is no any mistakes in the JSON. So let's hit that one. And it took a couple of seconds and it's there. So we can fall back to Teams. Okay, so first demo was the adoption with Graph Demo 1. And as you can see, I called it from Graph and I get these channels created automatically. And of course, if you go to the channel, for example, calendar, there is a shared calendar already there. Well, and these rest of these, we just need to wait a little bit more. So let's jump back on these after a couple of slides to see that they are actually fully provisioned. Just a couple of noticed what I have been struggling with when using Graph. So documentation, important to check the documentation, especially when migrating. If you have been using, for example, Graph API beta endpoint and moving to 1.0, there might be some changes and you might get some weird error messages as well. From the permissions side, if you have been using Graph some time ago, it was still that group read by all. You needed that permission for your app to create a theme, but now you actually have more granular permissions for creating a theme, creating a channel, so your app is not getting all permissions to your environment. And as you saw, test and learn with Graph Explorer, great tool to experiment how the things work and just trying different combinations and well, using with themes, but using with anything running on Graph API. Roadmap, there isn't not so much on the roadmap, but if you are, for example, building a solution for using Graph, and you want to use Teams Admin Center to manage a template, there will be a get template and get template list Graph API endpoints available in just few weeks. February 22 is actually now in the roadmap, so you can just fetch those templates and utilize those in your own code and use Graph API to utilize those if you want to do that. So building your custom provisioning solution, for example, just customize the out-of-the-box Teams solution to something else. So having, for example, approvals or things like that. And then the connected templates. So basically what it means, you have the Teams template I have been now introducing, and you can extend it with SharePoint template, creating lists, creating pages, adding Power Apps, and those will be introduced as tabs in Teams then. So you can also extend the SharePoint side underneath the team, or what is behind the Teams team. So that is really good improvement, because quite often if you need a custom solution, you need that for also provisioning things to the SharePoint side. I will now jump back to Teams. As we can see, Chicago second demo, that was on my template. Let's just quickly show the differences, what I did here. So I have these 3 channels from the template, and if you see with some coffee, I have also the virtual coffee channel here added. So this is how you can extend pre-existing template with Graph API. Okay, I think we are quite close to finish. Is there any questions from this topic? Everything clear?
No, I'm just saying, if anybody has any questions, just type them into the chat.
Yeah, and if you have anything related to this after this session, just ping me on social media channels. So I think Twitter, LinkedIn are the fastest way. Of course, you can. My email is also there, but I'm not so good with emails. So basically, social media is a better way to contact me if you have any questions. Just to mention, feedback is always very appreciated. Of course, you can give direct feedback from me, for example, tweeting something, really appreciate it, or just having giving direct feedback to the chat, or just giving likes, or sadly those are on the team side now positive. So if you didn't like my session, you can't do that, but just giving likes on the team side as well. But there is some feedback from the event, so please give us feedback so we can improve. Okay, I would say that's it. Thank you for participating. Have a nice rest of the conference. There is a lot of interesting going sessions and things going on. So thank you very much.